What's up, welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Your Friends and Neighbors Season 2 on Apple TV+, coming just 1 year after the debut season. Of course, the return of Jon Hamm to TV following Mad Men. I enjoyed watching the first season of Your Friends and Neighbors. It's hardly a show without flaws from a character perspective. But the central conceit of it and the general Jon Hamm-ness of it still charmed me. It's clear, though, that Your Friends and Neighbors is being thought of as a long-running series for Apple. Already been renewed for a third season. Feels like one of their annual shows at this point. And the question remains is, will this show adapt and evolve and change from its early premise and promise? It's quite clear with Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2 that Your Friends and Neighbors probably won't really be the show about Jon Hamm robbing all his neighbors' houses. It's much more interested in being a character show and having a commentary on rich people than actually is about portraying Jon Hamm's coup as a cat burglar. Season 2 is rapidly reintroducing Olivia Munn's character and effectively wiping the slate clean from Season 1. What I think is most promising about Season 2, though, is the introduction of James Marsden's new character into this wealthy Westchester society that we've come to know pretty well from the first season. Obviously, Marsden's Ash is going to be a source of great conflict, this very wealthy, mysterious export-import shipping magnet. But I do enjoy watching the dynamics of this ridiculous gated community country club world enough to keep going with the show. I am still a bit tentative about how it handles Jon Hamm's voiceover and the use of flashback. It feels like it still needs more focus and more rounding out of the ensemble to really work as like a full season arc. But there's a lot of parts and pieces on this show that I do enjoy. I think Hamm's performance and his chemistry with Amanda P, who plays his ex-wife, I think their stuff works really well, and I want to see more of that. I think the introduction of Marsden's Ash works really well, where he's established as this extremely high roller right away, actually taking Olivia Munn's Sam kind of under his wing. And whether he has ulterior motives for that or not, I'm sure we will find out in due time. But he's effectively rehabilitating Munn's image within this community that we know she is effectively being shunned for after trying to frame Coop for murdering her husband in Season 1, of course. And the first burglary is also in this first episode of Season 2, where Coop and Elena have to call in help after Coop literally throws his back out trying to bend over to pick up a rich, expensive pen. And they bring in Barney, and Barney has to learn about the front he's put up for this business where he's robbing all of his neighbors and not actually working at his old job in the finance world. Barney coming into the equation, I think, is cool. I'm curious to see how that plays out, just because I really like Hoon Lee's performance as Barney, and they've done, I think, a decent job of kind of fleshing him out. Barney not getting along at all with his wife's parents. There's a really awkward scene in one of the billionaire's Rose apartments in New York City. I'm curious to see, where that goes down. Coop and Mel's kids, I'm less enthusiastic about their arcs. Early on, their daughter torches, getting into Princeton, where both her parents went. I'm just kind of less interested in them necessarily. I just don't know if they really fit all the way on the show. I like Mark Tallman as Nick Brandis still. I'm curious if he will have much to do this season beyond being some kind of financial pawn in Ash's schemes. If he has a scheme, we're kind of assuming he will. But the early introduction of Ash literally throwing like a Great Gatsby style party where he's a mysterious party host that nobody actually knows after buying this $20 million mega estate. Good stuff. We just got to see how it plays out, because this is a show that has a lot of threads, a lot of side plots, a lot of side characters, and where it focuses things, where Jonathan Tropper, the series creator, where he decides to focus, I think is really paramount to how the show will work. And the aspect of it being a recurring series, meaning Coop's never really going to be in too much of a legal danger, despite the fact that he got arrested last season, and it sounds like he's going to get set up in some kind of scheme again, and he's committing all these robberies, but maybe not too many anymore. Show might be shifting, so we'll see. But I'm open to it. Again, I do find it compulsively watchable even in its current state. So let me know, what do you think of Your Friends and Neighbors Season 2? What do you want to see from this season? It's kind of a hard show to parse, but it's one of those Apple shows that I've decided to stick with. So let me know. And for more TV reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.